Are your shoes quietly stealing your comfort, your posture, even your peace? It might sound strange, but for many women over 60, the shoes in your closet could be doing just that. Shoes you once loved, shoes you swore you'd wear again, or shoes you've been keeping just in case are now quietly draining your comfort and even putting your health at risk. Maybe they pinch your toes, maybe they've lost their support, maybe you haven't worn them in years, but they're still sitting there, taking up space and whispering little lies like, "You might need me one day." But here's the truth. Keeping the wrong shoes is more than just clutter, it's a hidden weight. It's the ache in your knees after a short walk, the slip that almost sent you tumbling, or the guilt you feel every time you open your closet and see rows of shoes that don't serve you anymore. And yet, here's the good news. 2025 can be the year you take back your freedom, by finally letting go of the shoes that no longer fit your life today. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal 8 types of shoes older women must toss for comfort and peace this year. And I promise, when you do, you won't just clear your closet, you'll feel lighter in your body, your mind, and your heart. Shoes aren't just shoes, are they? They carry stories. That pair of heels from your career days, the sneakers you wore on family vacations, the boots you trudged through winters in with your children by your side. Each one holds a piece of you. But here's what nobody tells us as we get older. Those same shoes that once carried our memories can also carry pain. Ill-fitting shoes don't just hurt your feet, they increase your risk of falls, strain your joints, and wear down your posture over time. Studies show that as women age, poorly fitting shoes are one of the biggest contributors to foot pain, back pain, and even reduced mobility. And yet, many of us hold on to them anyway. Why? Because of guilt, because of someday, because of memories. But keeping shoes that no longer serve you doesn't honor your past, it robs you of your comfort today. So let me reassure you, decluttering shoes isn't about losing style or choices. It's about regaining freedom. It's about keeping the pairs that make you feel strong, steady, and beautiful, and letting go of the ones that steal your peace. And today, we'll walk through it together. Step by step, shoe by shoe, I'll show you the 8 types of shoes every older woman should release in 2025. But first, let me ask you, when was the last time you slipped on a pair of shoes and immediately felt pain, but still put them back in your closet instead of tossing them? If you just thought of a pair, then this video is for you. Shoe type number 1, worn-out sneakers. Let's start with the one pair almost every older woman has tucked away, the worn-out sneakers. At first glance, they don't look too bad. Maybe the fabric is a little faded, maybe the sole has flattened, maybe they squeak when you walk, but you keep them anyway. Why? Because you tell yourself, I'll use them for yard work, for errands, just in case. But here's the painful truth. Sneakers that have lost their support are no longer protecting your feet. Instead, they're putting you at risk. The cushioning wears out long before the fabric does, and that means every step you take is harder on your knees, your hips, and your back. For women over 60, this is no small matter. Research shows that unsupportive shoes are one of the leading causes of falls and chronic joint pain in seniors. I once heard a story of a woman in her 70s who kept her lucky walking shoes for over a decade. She loved them, they reminded her of morning walks with her husband. But over time, the soles had completely flattened. One morning, she slipped on a wet sidewalk, and it wasn't the sidewalk that was to blame, it was the shoes. When her doctor examined them, he said, "These shoes gave up years ago. You just didn't let them go." That moment hit her hard. She realized she wasn't just clinging to old sneakers, she was clinging to the past while risking her present. Here's your fix. Keep just one good pair of supportive sneakers, shoes that actually hold your arches, cushion your steps, and give you balance. And toss the rest. Don't keep 3 or 4 old pairs for gardening, for errands, for just in case. Your feet deserve better. Because here's the truth. Your shoes are either carrying you forward with strength, or quietly dragging you down with pain. And in 2025, you deserve the first. Shoe type number 2. High heels you never wear. Now let's talk about the shoes that sit in the back of the closet, quietly gathering dust, the high heels you never wear. Be honest. How many pairs of heels are still sitting on your shelf from years ago? Maybe they were part of your work wardrobe, maybe you wore them to weddings, maybe they made you feel elegant and powerful once. But when was the last time you actually wore them? Here's the truth. High heels are not just uncomfortable for older women, they're dangerous. They push your weight forward, strain your toes, and throw off your balance. Studies show that falls linked to unstable shoes are one of the top reasons older women end up in the hospital. I remember one woman, a retired teacher in her late 60s, who told me she couldn't bring herself to get rid of her collection of heels. She had at least 8 pairs, black, red, metallic, some she hadn't worn in over 15 years. They reminded her of her career, her younger days, and the confidence she once felt walking into a classroom. But when I asked her, "Do you ever wear them now?" she laughed and said, "Of course not. I'd probably break an ankle." So why keep them? For many of us, those shoes are symbols. They remind us of seasons of life when we felt strong, beautiful, unstoppable. But here's the secret. You don't need the shoes to keep the memory. The memory lives in you. And here's where freedom comes in. When this woman finally let go of most of those heels, keeping just one pair in her memory box, she said her closet felt lighter. But more importantly, she felt lighter. She said, "It's like I gave myself permission to be who I am now, not who I was then." That's what this is really about. You are not less elegant, less beautiful, or less powerful without those heels. In fact, choosing shoes that give you stability, comfort, and confidence is the truest form of strength at this stage in life. So here's my challenge. Open your closet. Look at those heels you haven't worn in years. Ask yourself, am I really going to wear these again, or are they just taking up space in my life? If the answer is no, release them. Keep one pair if it truly makes your heart smile, but let the rest go. Because 2025 isn't about holding on to pain for the sake of memories. It's about walking forward with peace, comfort, and confidence. Shoe type number 3. Tight or ill-fitting shoes. Now let's talk about one of the most painful clutter traps hiding in your closet. Tight or ill-fitting shoes. We've all done it. Kept a pair of shoes that pinch, rub, or give us blisters because we spent good money on them. Or maybe they were a gift from someone special. Or maybe we told ourselves, one day, my feet will feel better in these. But here's the hard truth. Shoes that don't fit are not just uncomfortable, they're harmful. They can cause bunions, corns, nerve pain, and even long-term damage to your joints. And for women over 60, they increase the risk of losing balance and falling. I once spoke with a woman in her early 70s who admitted she had at least 6 pairs of expensive shoes sitting untouched. She said, "I can't wear them, they hurt too much. But I can't let them go because they cost me so much money." Every time she opened her closet, instead of feeling joy, she felt guilt. And here's what I told her, and maybe it's what you need to hear too: keeping painful shoes does not get your money back. All it does is make you pay twice, once when you bought them, and again every time they steal your peace. So here's the secret: release them. Donate them if they're still in good condition. Pass them on to someone whose feet they do fit, or simply let them go. Your comfort matters more than the price tag. Think of it this way: when you let go of ill-fitting shoes, you're not losing. You're gaining space, clarity, and the chance to fill that space with shoes that actually support you, comfort you, and carry you with confidence. So here's my challenge for you. Go to your closet and try on those maybe one-day shoes. If they hurt after 5 minutes, they don't belong in your life anymore. Let them go, and make room for shoes that love you back. Because in 2025, it's not about holding on to the past, it's about walking forward, lighter and freer than ever before. Shoe type number 4. Slippery flats or sandals. Now let's move on to a type of shoe that looks harmless, but can be one of the most dangerous for older women: slippery flats and sandals. At first glance, they seem comfortable. Easy to slip on, lightweight, and simple for everyday wear. But here's the problem. Many flats and sandals are made with thin soles and little to no grip. Over time, those slick bottoms wear smooth. The result? One wrong step on a polished floor, a wet sidewalk, or even your own kitchen tile, and you're at serious risk of slipping. I remember the story of a woman in her late 60s who wore her favorite pair of flats to church every Sunday. One rainy morning, she nearly fell on the church steps because the soles had worn down so much they were practically ice skates. She told me later, "I realized I was holding on to those shoes because they were cute, but cute nearly cost me a broken hip. And here's the truth. Falls are not just little accidents. For women over 60, a slip can lead to fractures, hospital stays, and even long-term mobility issues. Studies show that the wrong footwear is one of the top hidden causes of falls among older adults. So how do you fix it? Start with this. Check the bottoms of your flats and sandals. If they're worn smooth, slippery, or have no support, it's time to let them go. Replace them with non-slip, cushioned alternatives. There are plenty of supportive sandals and flats made specifically with grip and balance in mind, shoes that keep you steady without sacrificing style. Think of it this way. Your shoes should carry you safely into this next chapter of life, not put you at risk of spending months recovering from a fall. Holding on to unsafe shoes is like keeping broken dishes in your kitchen. Why risk it when you deserve peace and safety? So here's my gentle challenge. Tonight, look at your shoes. Be honest. Do you own a pair of flats or sandals that you know are slippery? If so, don't put them back in the closet. Toss them, and make space for shoes that help you walk with confidence. Because in 2025, the goal isn't just looking good, it's feeling steady, safe, and free every step of the way. Shoe type number 5, old dress shoes for someday. Now let's talk about a type of clutter that hides quietly in the closet, old dress shoes kept for someday. You know the ones. The shiny pair from a wedding 10 years ago. The classic pumps you wore to church or work but haven't touched in years. Maybe even a pair that matches a dress you don't own anymore. They sit there because you tell yourself, what if I need them again? What if another event comes up? But here's the truth. Most of these shoes never see the light of day again. Meanwhile, they take up valuable space in your closet and weigh on your mind with guilt. I remember one retired teacher in her 70s who confessed she had 7 pairs of black dress shoes, all slightly different, all barely worn. She told me, I kept thinking, what if I go to a formal dinner or a big family wedding? But honestly, I haven't worn heels in years. My feet just don't like them anymore. When she finally narrowed it down to one comfortable, versatile pair, she said her closet felt lighter, and so did her spirit. Here's the science behind it. Psychologists call this just-in-case clutter. Holding on to too many options doesn't bring security. It actually increases decision fatigue. Every time you glance at those shoes, your brain quietly nags you with questions. Should I keep them? Should I wear them? Am I wasting money if I let them go? That background noise drains peace. So here's the fix. Choose one versatile pair of dress shoes that truly fits your current lifestyle and feels comfortable. Release the rest. You'll still be ready for any event that comes up, but without the burden of a crowded, guilty closet. Think about it this way. If you wouldn't wear them tomorrow, why let them take up space today? And let me loop back to the heart of this series. Your shoes should support the woman you are now, not the life you left behind. By releasing the someday shoes, you're making room for peace today. Shoe type number 6, heavy, bulky boots. Now let's move on to another type of shoe clutter that so many older women hold on to, heavy, bulky boots. At first glance, they might not seem like a problem. Maybe they were expensive. Maybe they've lasted for years. Maybe you think, well, I might need them if the weather gets bad. But here's the truth, those big, clunky boots often do more harm than good once we're over 60. Why? Because heavy footwear puts unnecessary strain on your joints, hips, and lower back. Every extra pound on your feet makes walking more tiring and increases the risk of imbalance. Over time, that can lead to pain, stiffness, and even falls. I once heard from a 74-year-old grandmother who admitted she still had 4 pairs of big leather boots in her closet. She said, I used to wear them in the winters when I was younger. But now, they feel like weights on my legs. I don't even make it across the driveway without my knees aching. When she finally let them go and kept just one lightweight, supportive pair for practical use, she felt freer, physically and emotionally. And here's something important. Keeping too many bulky shoes is not just a space issue. It's a subtle reminder of the woman you used to be, not the woman you are today. They sit there whispering, one day, maybe, but deep down, you know that day isn't coming. The fix is simple. Keep one functional pair of boots that actually serves you today, lightweight, comfortable, and supportive. donate, or release the rest. Think about it. Wouldn't it feel better to open your closet and see only what you truly use, instead of being weighed down by rows of shoes that no longer fit your life? And let me loop this back. When you release those heavy boots, you're not losing protection. You're gaining freedom. You're choosing shoes that let you move safely, confidently, and without pain in 2025. Shoe type number 7. Duplicates you don't use. Now let's talk about a sneaky kind of clutter that hides in plain sight. Duplicate shoes. How many pairs of almost identical black flats or beige sandals are sitting in your closet right now? Maybe 2 pairs of walking shoes, 3 pairs of nearly the same loafers, or multiple slippers that all look alike. You tell yourself, they're still good. I might need them. But the truth is, you reach for the same favorites every time. The rest just sit there, gathering dust. I once spoke with a woman in her early 70s who confessed she had 6 pairs of nearly identical sneakers. She admitted, "I only ever wear 1 pair, but I felt guilty throwing the others out because they weren't worn out yet." But when she finally donated the extras, she said her closet felt like it could breathe again. And every time she opened it, she felt calmer, not overwhelmed by choices. And here's the science behind it. Research shows that when we're faced with too many similar options, our brains experience decision fatigue. Instead of making us feel abundant, duplicates drain our energy. Too many good shoes turn into a source of stress. So here's the fix. Pick your favorite pair in each category, the one that feels the most comfortable, the most supportive, the one you actually wear. Keep that. Release the duplicates. Someone else out there could really use those shoes instead of them sitting unused in your home. And let me loop back, decluttering duplicates isn't about lack. It's about freedom. Because once you clear the extras, you'll notice something powerful. Every shoe you see in your closet is one you actually love and wear. That's not loss, that's peace. Shoe type number 8. Sentimental shoes. Finally, let's talk about perhaps the hardest category of all, sentimental shoes. These aren't just shoes, they're memories. The heels you wore on your wedding day. The boots from your first trip abroad. The work shoes that carried you through decades of a career. Each pair whispers a story, and that makes them hard to let go. But here's the truth. When too many sentimental pairs pile up, your closet becomes a museum of the past instead of a place that supports the life you're living today. And every time you see them, instead of joy, you feel a pang of guilt. I should keep them. They meant so much. What if I'm dishonouring my past? I once spoke with a woman in her late 70s who still had the satin heels she wore at her wedding, over 50 years ago. The soles were cracked, the fabric was yellowed, and she couldn't even slip them on anymore. Yet, she held on to them for decades because she thought letting them go would mean letting go of the memory. But then she did something powerful. She took a photo of those shoes, wrote down the memory in her journal, and placed the picture in her keepsake box. Then she released the shoes. She said, "I didn't lose the memory, I finally set it free." That's the secret here. You don't need to keep every pair of sentimental shoes. Pick 1 or 2 that truly tell your story. Maybe it's the pair you want to pass down to your daughter or granddaughter. Maybe it's the one that still sparks joy when you see it. The rest, release them, with love, gratitude, and peace. You can even create a small legacy box for the most meaningful pair and let the others go. Or photograph them before you release them, so you keep the story without the clutter. Because here's the emotional truth. Your memories live in you, not in every shoe. And your legacy is written in the life you lived, not in the dust collecting on shoes you no longer wear. So, my dear friend, we've walked through the 8 types of shoes older women must toss for comfort and peace in 2025. Think about it. Worn-out sneakers that no longer support you. High heels gathering dust but hurting your feet. Tight shoes that pinch, blister, and rob you of joy. Slippery flats and sandals that put you at risk of falling. Old dress shoes saved for someday that never comes. Heavy, bulky boots weighing you down. Duplicate pairs you never reach for. And sentimental shoes that hold memories but also clutter your closet. Here's the truth. Your shoes are more than fashion. They're the foundation of your comfort, your balance, and your peace. Every pair that hurts your body or clutters your closet is silently stealing from your freedom. But every pair you choose to keep with intention becomes a step toward a lighter, safer, calmer 2025. I want you to picture this, opening your closet and seeing only the pairs that truly serve you. Supportive, comfortable, and easy to wear. No guilt. No clutter. Just peace. Every step you take feels lighter, because your shoes are no longer holding you back, but carrying you forward. And let me gently ask you, how many of these 8 shoes are still sitting in your closet right now? If even one came to mind, don't wait until next year to make a change. Toss them tonight. Set yourself free. But don't stop there. Join a community of women who are choosing peace over piles, clarity over chaos, and comfort over clutter. Subscribe right now. Because if you don't, these words will fade like dust in the back of your closet, and you'll still be carrying the same weight tomorrow.